Hi and welcome to DC Conversations. First of all, it's good to know that you are going to perform in several cities across India. So, how was your first concert in Chennai?
The first ever concert in Chennai. Actually, it's my second concert. I performed in Chennai 10 years ago for the TK Murthy School of Music. I was invited by respected Dr. TK Murthy for a performance. So I came down from Delhi at that time to perform. And this time it was a wonderful experience. This was like one of the first shows of the tour, and we had planned a lot of new things this time with like visuals and everything. So it was a good like starting ground to just implement all of that, get people's reactions, and which also gives us a little bit things to work on as well. And Chennai audience is so disciplined and such a appreciative audience. uh, Rarely I see people queuing up 30 minutes before the show. As we call it, people reach at IST, Indian Standard Time.
Yeah,
But this is like one of my few experiences where people were queuing up, 30 minutes before the gates opened. So that was pretty cool to watch. And yeah, I just love Chennai's food. We had some amazing food after the show. It was great.
nice. So, you come from a family of luthiers, right? So, did
Yeah.
it actually influence your interest in music?
Actually, growing up in a family of musical instrument makers, but also very conservative musical instrument makers. So whenever my dad makes an instrument, Sanjay Rikhiram is his name. He believes that
Uh,
he's making a piece of art. It's a baby. It's like Ma Saraswati lies in that instrument. So, funnily enough, I wasn't allowed to touch a sitar until I was like of age, as he used to say. But what he
yeah.
truly meant was, I need to have respect for the instrument, learn how to handle that instrument, at least, not if not play, before I can, even set my hands on it. Even though there was like musical instruments being built around me, they were little, they didn't push us into it. It was just there. It wasn't like forced down our throats like that. Often it happens like when you are told not to do something, you want to do it even more. So I think
Yeah.
that's they were just, now I just feel like they were playing this whole reverse psychology game with me.
So, music is therapeutic, right?
Yeah.
But not many people actually use it to, I mean, in terms of like mental health, they don't really relate to it. When did you
Yeah.
actually decide to do this? Was there an incident or you actually thought that you should come up with something like this?
See, I what you said was absolutely correct. Like some people don't know, and if it doesn't work for some people either. So for some people, there are other forms of art that works as therapy. Like it could be drawing, and for some people, I've like through my conversations with different people, I've heard that even running is therapeutic for some people. So
Yeah.
with Siddharth, I'll tell them, you come and experience it, try experiencing what I has worked for me, and see if it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I would like everyone to give it a shot with Siddharth for mental health. Sorry, I forgot your
Yeah.
question. I just
And
went on a tangent.
yeah. So when did you actually think that you should do it? Was there
So
something
that
that was a
started.
trigger?
Yes. So it started during the pandemic. Uh,
Mm.
it was majorly after I lost my grandfather. So that was like the lowest point of my mental health. I was very close to him. I often say he was like my third parent. He was there for me whenever I needed him. Uh, More so than my parents, because my parents were always traveling. So we were left with our grandparents, like a lot. So I was very close to him. He was like my best friend. And when I lost him, I was completely utterly broken, and it really took a hit on my mental health. So I was going through depression, and I was anyways trying to cope with anxiety. uh, and I stopped playing also for a while. Then I seek professional help. I have to shout out to my friends, who really like pushed me to work on myself, and I did so. And after various conversations, different sessions, I realized that music is a very big part of my life. So not we, but like my therapist realized that the music is a very integral part of my life, because they didn't know like who I am, what I do. It was only through like conversations that we figured that out.
Mm.
So they told me to go back and practice and just like get back on my groove. So gradually I sort of like eased my way into it, because before that I wasn't even like leaving my room. I was eating in my room, sleeping, watching movies, just like in my room all the time.
Mm.
So I started practicing again, and I was just like, it was just like a familiar surprise when I like held the sitar again for after like I would say like almost 6 months. um and then I was just like, this was missing, and this is my happy place. And I would just like practice it out, whatever I was feeling, I was just like every day just practice it out. And then I sometimes I would just like there was this app that was very like popping around that time. It was called Clubhouse. So I would just like hop on Clubhouse, make a room, and just like practice, so I was for my friends, whoever would join. And it
Mm.
started off like that, one day there were 3 people, next day there were 6 people, 2 days later there were 9 people, and it just like sort of kept snowballing. And then there was this one day there was like 4,000 people listening to me at that time. And that's where when I thought that this has real potential. People are actually enjoying this and feeling healed, because it was a testament that I was getting so many DMs, so many emails right after every session that, hey, I was going through this, and but your music made me much lighter, it made me feel calm, um, very zen. So I was getting all these doses of appreciation, which was working as motivation for me. And I then started calling them Sitar for mental health, because I started talking about mental health also, about my loss. And it was like a space where everyone would like grieve together. So there would be like poets, sharing poetry. There would be various artists who would come and play an instrument, sing, and I would just like give them that platform to just share. No matter if they are
Mm.
professionals or just like beginners, but like I would give them that platform, so we could form a community, where we all of us who care about mental health and are grieving together. It's just like a warm hug, like a group hug.
Yeah.
So that's how Siddhartha Mental Health, basically started. And then we started doing, in-person shows, which was like a whole different level. Okay, I'm talking too much.
That's all right. So, see, your ambitions are very different from others in that, like, being a musician is different, but, playing music for mental health is different. So, how did
Yeah.
your family think of this as a, career or passion,
Yeah,
interest?
see, my parents are pretty chill, but
Yeah.
I think the mental health stigma, no one's like immune to that. The stigma is so heavy that even when I was starting Satafa Mental Health, my parents weren't sure. They were. I wouldn't say they were discouraging me, but they weren't sure. There was some apprehension of using the word mental, because they thought
Mm.
that that I whenever I share my story, people are gonna think that I'm crazy or something, or I'm trying to heal crazy people, whatever crazy means in today's day and age. Uh,
Mm.
so just the stigma attached to the word mental is so big that that made me go for it even harder. That I was like, okay, if that's the stigma, okay, I'm gonna be more direct, because believe it or not, I even changed my name. I changed it to Sitar for mindfulness for quite some time. And And it wasn't just my parents, but also like a few people around me was like, don't use the word mental, get too clinical. People are going to be, some like doctors are going to be mad or something like that. I say, there is evidence that music helps with your mental health. People have healed cancer with music, so there is, I mean, there might not be any sitar specific studies, but there are studies about music and even Indian classical music healing people. So why not be direct and use music as your voice to, make more noise about mental health? So,
Yeah.
so that was like some arguments that I had to get into with even internally and also externally, inside the family, outside the family. But now that once like they saw me live and they saw the reactions of people and how people reacted to the music, now they're like, okay, you have our full support.
Also, because like you said, yours is more like a, it's like a warm hug, you said, and it's more like
Yeah,
a meditative music, right?
correct.
So what kind of preparation goes into preparing for this kind of concert?
See, initially when I started off, it was very different and to what it is now. But I also feel like that's just natural selection. How people react to it, and I also like implement their feedback. Earlier I would just like play and I would just like play my heart out, but now I've like sort of structured it so it like helps me and also
Mm,
helps other people. Like we would start off with the breathing exercise, then I would lead the meditation on my sitar, which is like very slow alap and jor, building up to like a
mm,
speed and where the tabla joins us. And after we play 2 3 compositions, we take an intermission, and then we have like a audience activity where we ask people and prompt them to ask each other a few questions which are very deep and thoughtful, like something like, what do you regret? And opening up
mm,
to a stranger is often easier rather than opening up to your friend. And that's how I felt
mm,
on Clubhouse too, that I would be extremely open with like complete strangers that I don't even know. So it was just a voice and a profile picture, and I would like have the deepest of conversations with them without any filter. So that's the feeling I wanted to like bring to my shows. So people have that space, and that's how you form communities, right? When people like interact together. Otherwise it's just like a single-handed experience where you're just like watching a show and going home. But I want to make it more than that and make it more about community. So also you have a friend that who cares about mental health and opened up to you. I've had people who are getting married because of that exercise, believe it or not. So I was
mm.
in Bangalore, and so I did a show in 2021, and in 2022, so this couple came up to me and they were like, Rishabh, you did the same audience exercise last year as well, and I had such a great conversation with this girl, and we just got engaged this year. And
Wow.
that was so sweet. I was like, this is the power of community. So that's
True,
what
true.
happens in my shows, and that's how it's evolved. Earlier, it was like mostly like just like meditational music, but now there's a lot of like uh, things that we have structured that we know works and is received best by the audience.
Yeah. So what are the takeaways from your interactions with Pandit Ravi Shankar?
Oh, Guruji, yeah,
Yeah.
Guruji was he was a very strict teacher. Like I don't know if you've seen any of his videos, but while playing the sitar, he looks very happy, this and that. But when he was teaching, he was very, very, very strict. So क्यों नहीं बजा रहे हो ठीक से, क्या कर रहे हो, हाथ में चूड़ी पहन लो, things like that. So but when he kept his as soon as he kept his sitar down, he was the nicest person on the planet. It was just like he would just adapt this personality when he would hold the sitar, but like when the sitar is down, the funniest person on the planet, the like he would crack non-veg veg jokes all of it. And I would often be in a position where if he would crack jokes like that, should I laugh or not? Because if I laugh, then he would get to know that I'm not so innocent. So it was a very fun time, and wherever Guruji was around, it was like there's a festival going. It was like that those jitters you get when it's Diwali. So just
Yeah.
imagine that whenever he's in town, that's the feeling. And also, like I used to understand like why now I understand like why he used to be a little frustrated while teaching me, because he often used to say, I'm 90 years old, I'm not going to live forever. So, and I want you to, take everything from me as soon as you can. And I was merely like 12 years old. I was trying my best, but of now I understand. Because he felt like that, like time was ticking, and you are the one who's going to take it forward to the next generation. And you often used to tell me that, sabse chote tum hi ho. You are going to take this forward. You're the youngest disciple and youngest and the last disciple I'm gonna have. So you have to like take this forward to your generation and spread, our gharana and our style of playing. So now as I've matured, I understand, where he was coming from too. Otherwise, I would be like very scared, to go to sitar class. If it was there dinner with Guruji, I would be very happy. Or sitar class, I'll be like no. So those were some of my interactions, and a few of the things he used to say, such as like ये करतब की विद्या, ये करोगे तब मिलेगी. So it was very good with wordplay, and he was quite
Yeah.
witty as well.
So tell us about your collaborations and solo concerts.
Like upcoming or in the past?
Yeah. 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 I mean,
Upcoming.
upcoming
So
and
I just got on the phone with a few. There's a group of Rajasthani folk artists. So we're going to Jaipur tomorrow, and we have the show on Sunday. So I'm so excited because I've never done this before. So we are collaborating with a I think like 4 to 6 piece, like a Rajasthani folk band, and we're going to play some of my songs and some of some Rajasthani folk songs. And throughout the tour, I'm sort of featuring the cultural artists of that state. If there's like a musically rich culture in that state. Otherwise, we are also
mm,
collaborating with dance. So we are incorporating some of the top dances in the country. And in Hyderabad, we are doing something with the Tollywood industry. So it's a lot of exciting things coming in this tour, and which I didn't even think about when we were like curating this whole show. It's just like naturally keeps happening, and it's great. I love it.
nice. So you've done some work with South movies also, right? You've worked on some South movies
Yes, I
earlier.
actually worked on one of Kamal Hassan's songs. It was called something like Ven Murasu. So I played. So this, I think like 2 or 3 people from the industry like flew down to New York to record me, and then
Mm,
that was during COVID actually. So we rented out a studio and we recorded a few songs, and I think it made it to the album also. It's called Ven Murasu. Yeah. Yeah, my family is also like associated with the South Indian industry. Like A.R. Rahman is a client of ours because we make musical instruments. So they've bought like Tanpuras, and Bombay Jayashri is also a client of ours. And yeah, there are a lot of intersections that happen.
that's nice. Wonderful. So thank you for your time and all the best for your
Oh, thank
upcoming
you.
projects as well as the concert. Thank you so much. Have a
All
great
right,
day.
all right. Take care. Bye.